Okay, today is February 7th, Monday. The first thing I want to discuss is for my social studies class. As the students already know, especially the students that are in the first period social studies class, is they will have a quiz tomorrow. Now, parents, your child should have a sheet that looks like this that they've been working on, where it's a graphic organizer talking about the government and economics of Africa. They should be reviewing this with you at home daily. There's a lot of valuable information that is contained on this graphic organizer. In addition to that, tonight there's some terms, or there was a game that we played where it describes the government and the student would have to pick out which government it's describing. Now, this can be downloaded on Miss Derry's blog, but I'm also going to briefly go over it so your child will be prepared for the quiz tomorrow, and you can also discuss together some of the things that I'm speaking about. First of all, if I have a country or a nation where the citizen has no say or rights in government because it's governed by a single person that has unlimited powers, this is called an autocracy. If I have a country or a nation controlled by a small group of people and the average citizen has little say or rights in the government, this is called an oligarchy. Now, there's a difference there in an autocracy, because in an autocracy, again, it is governed by a single person. For oligarchy, it is controlled by a small group of people. Very important there. Now, a country or nation that has or that receives its power from the people and all people get to vote, this is similar or more like what we live in, a democracy. Now, what about a country or a nation where the laws and decisions are made at one level? The central authority controls the weaker states. Power is not shared between the states, the counties, or the provinces. This is a unitary government. What about a weak or loose organization of states, where the smaller states are allowed to make their own laws and decisions, and the central government is only concerned about a common defense and a trade? That's called a confederation. Again, it's important to note with a confederation that the smaller states are allowed to make their own laws. What about when power is shared by a powerful central authority and regional authorities, or states or provinces, are given considerable self-rule, usually through their own legislatures? This is a federal system. Now, what about a type of autocratic government where you actually have a king, queen, or an emperor that has complete control? Now, the key words there are a king, queen, or emperor. This is called an absolute monarchy. A type of democratic government where people elect representatives and give them the power to vote on issues for them. Citizens are involved through their representatives, lobbying and voting. So it's kind of democratic, but instead of actually just voting on the main leader, they elect representatives to actually represent them. So this kind of also similar to what we have. This is called a republic. A type of autocratic or oligarchic government where one or more religious leaders control the government. This is important. Whether religious leaders control the government, this would be a theocracy. A type of a theocracy system, excuse me. A type of democratic government where both the chief executive and the head of state are both the same person. The president is unique in that he or she is elected independently of the legislature. This is a presidential democracy. Finally, a type of democratic government where the head of state and the chief executive are two separate people. The chief executive is chosen by the legislature and is the head of the legislature, and the head of state has a ceremonial type of role. This is a parliamentary democracy. Now, this may seem like a lot of information, but again, parents, your child should already be equipped with everything that I just went over. And you can always listen to this. You can pause it, rewind it, discuss it to make sure your child has a clear understanding before the quiz tomorrow. Now, for my math class with both Miss King and Miss Walker, what we worked on today, we've been working on scale factor. Now we're talking about scale factor dealing with area and perimeter. The main thing that students need to remember is that the area of an original figure, when multiplied by the scale factor squared, equals the area of the dilated figure or the model. Let me say that again. The area of the original figure multiplied by the scale factor squared equals the area of the new or dilated figure. Very important to remember that. Now, for my 5th period math class, parents, I have stressed to the students they should have this. It might be kind of hard to see, but it looks like this. What this is, I made detailed notes for them, front and back, on how to simplify fractions. Now, most of the students did not work on this over the weekend. I stressed to them that it was extremely important that they learn how to reduce fractions, because in order to do similar figures, which is what we're doing today, or what we started today, they must know how to reduce fractions. So again, ask your child to show you this, and maybe give them some practice problems at home on reducing fractions. Finally, they should have this today to work on for homework. Practice A. It says similar figures and proportions. Now, what this means, if you look at number 1, it says AB corresponds with XY in the other figure. BC, for example, if you look at it, would correspond to YZ. And if you look closely, these sides are just in the same location, but in a different figure. And so, therefore, they correspond with each other. And if you go down to number 4, what that shows is the sides that correspond, you have to put the dimensions of the side, or the length of the side. So, as you can see, side AB corresponds with DE, thus making the ratio 3/6. Then, side BC corresponds with EF, making the ratio 4/8. Finally, side AC corresponds with side DF, and that ratio is 5/10. So what your child would have to do after that is they would have to simplify all of those fractions. If all of those fractions simplify to the same thing, that's how you know that they are similar. So, your child should have also came home with some notes today. In addition to these PowerPoint notes that you're able to download on this blog. Again, parents, please work with your child on reducing fractions. It's very important in finding similar figures. So once again, this is SuperLearning123, and I hope this blog post has been extremely beneficial. Thank you.